The Iowa Hawkeyes losing yet another quarterback to the transfer portal. Iowa quarterback Carson May surprising a lot of Hawkeye fans on this Tuesday as he announces he is leaving Iowa. We'll talk about it in a moment. First of all, Iowa floor covering. If you haven't given this company a chance, certainly do so if you're taking on a project in your home or maybe in the workplace. Visit iowafloorcovering.com/DIY. They've got this self-installation flooring right now at a special rate, $269 per foot for this tough core click together 4.5 millimeter waterproof vinyl flooring. The boys down in Bondurant will get you what you need, and you're supporting a sponsor of this channel here at From the Hawkeye of the Storm. Visit iowafloorcovering.com/DIY. So the news that surprised a lot of Hawkeye fans earlier today, breaking this morning, Iowa quarterback Carson May will be leaving the program. At least we assume he's leaving, entering the transfer portal on this Tuesday, announcing on Twitter, "Thank you, Iowa. I have entered the transfer portal with 4 years of eligibility remaining." Carson, having just gotten here in the summer, he was recruited by Ken O'Keefe prior to O'Keefe's retirement. Carson is a Jones, Oklahoma native, 4-star recruit by at least one of the major recruiting sites, and by all accounts looked really good on scout team throughout the fall and looked good during bowl prep. I was told that he was thought to have had the best arm of any of those 4 quarterbacks, I should say, including Petrus, Padilla, and Labus. The difference was Carson May didn't have the offense learned at that point, especially earlier in the season. I think one would assume that by the time you hit December, he was further along in his knowledge of the playbook and knowledge of the system. But I was told that he maybe had the best arm of any of the quarterbacks, but the knowledge was just lacking. And of course, you expect that to come with time. So why is Carson May leaving? Alex Padilla is gone. Spencer Petrus doesn't look like he's going to play again at Iowa. Joey Labus didn't set the world on fire in the bowl game. We do know Cade McNamara is coming in during the spring and is expected to be the starter in the fall. Marco Lainez will join Iowa in the summer as well. Here's what I was told. I was told that Carson May had told some of his teammates after the Nebraska game that he was considering entering the portal. But at that point, Petrus and Padilla, the news on those two guys had not yet been confirmed, right? There had been speculation. Would Petrus have surgery? Alex Padilla, of course, would he enter the transfer portal? So Padilla enters the transfer portal. Petrus has to have surgery. So at that point, Carson May believed he had a shot to play in the bowl game. Now, I think most people realized that Joey Labus was going to be the starter in the bowl game. But from what I was told, Carson May expected to get some snaps in that game, to play some at some point in the game. And no doubt, when Iowa was up 21-0 at halftime, I'm guessing Carson May thought at halftime, hey, I'm going to play in the second half. Well, he never played. Iowa ran several snaps for Sam Laporta at quarterback. Sam, I know he didn't throw, was running a wildcat package, I guess you could call it, which makes little sense to me why you would even do that and risk his health just a few months away from the NFL draft. But Carson May never even got a snap despite the big lead in that game. It's a blow. I mean, this is a blow. Carson May, as I mentioned, 4-star recruit out of high school. By all accounts, had a really good arm, was behind the other guys from a head knowledge standpoint, but you'd expect him to catch up. He wasn't the most mobile guy in the world, 6'4", 6'5" guy, but he was more mobile than his counterpart, Spencer Petrus. And now he moves on. Will he go closer to home? I'll give you 2 schools to watch for, and these may surprise you. Watch for Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. Now, I'm not saying he's going to go in either of those 2 schools and start right away, but just watch for those 2 schools. He's got 4 years of eligibility remaining. Watch for those 2 schools in the recruitment of Carson May. I'm disappointed in the Iowa coaches for not giving Carson some snaps. I'm not even advocating for him to have played an entire drive or an entire quarter, an entire half. Just give him a series. You're up 21-0. What's the worst that could happen? He comes in there, throws a pick 6, and it's 21-7, and you pull him. That's fine. But to me, I see no reason, unless he was dinged up, which according to the information I've been given, he was not dinged up. To me, there's no reason to have not played him at least a series. Give him what you gave Sam Laporta, and perhaps that would have made a difference. Perhaps that would have given Carson May reason for pause and made him feel appreciated and endorsed by his coaching staff. I mean, these young people, these young kids, they want to play, right? I mean, I understand Carson probably wasn't going to play next year. But after that, I mean, Cade may not be here more than a year. Carson may have had a shot at starting in 2024. So we won't know what would have happened had he played some in the bowl game. I just don't understand the reasoning on not playing him. And yes, you may say, well, Corey, you're always going to find something to complain about. Well, in this case, I think it's valid. I'm disappointed in the coaching staff for that reason. Now, whether or not Brian Ferentz will be here next season, did that impact his decision making? Not from what I was told. But that is his position coach, so perhaps that's part of it as well. Perhaps he wants to be closer to home. And now Iowa's down to one healthy quarterback, right? Cade McNamara is still recovering from knee surgery. Will he be ready in the spring? We'll have to wait and see. Joey Labus, the only healthy quarterback, so you assume Labus isn't going to enter the portal at this point, right? You assume Labus is going to stay here, and they're going to have to find someone else, right? They're going to have to bring in a walk-on, probably going to bring in a walk-on regardless if they can find one that's adequate. And you might be going to the portal and trying to find another quarterback. It's going to be a tough sell because McNamara coming here to be the starter for at least 1 to 2 years is pretty much common knowledge across the country. So it's going to be a tough sell, but opportunity, you're one snap away as a backup. So even a guy who comes in here who's not playing someplace else knows that, hey, I'm one snap away from playing for a guy in Cade McNamara who's already had a history of injuries. So perhaps they can land someone else in the portal, but I would not be surprised to see Iowa go that direction, and they probably should. They also need more help at wide receiver, and they need more help along the offensive line. Best of wishes to Carson May. Again, he originally committed to Ken O'Keefe, stuck with his commitment. I don't blame the kid for leaving. Anyways, appreciate you being here, folks. Continued updates right here from the Hawkeye of the Storm all week, all month, all year. Subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and tell me what you think. Your reaction to Carson May entering the transfer portal. Look forward to hearing what you have to say. We'll talk to you soon.